Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm thrilled to be speaking again with Vern and Mark of Second Hand Mojo. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. You have a brand new song out. It is called Good Vibes. It does and gives exactly that. I'm really excited to talk to you all about it. But before we get started, how are you doing today? What's going on?
Uh, Great to be here. Good to see you again. Right? It's always nice to talk to Austin. So,
Austin has always been very nice to us, man. Why would we not talk to you, brother?
right.
You're making me blush.
Right.
Too funny. So how have you been? What's going on? How is the Detroit life?
It is
Busy.
good. We've been busy. Yeah, really busy and getting ready to get busier too. So that's good news.
Yeah,
Got a lot of nice concerts
hunkering
coming up,
down
bro.
for the
Yeah.
fall.
We got a lot of nice shows coming up, opening up for some national acts, which is
Yeah, what's
right
going on
on the
there?
horizon. Brother Kane, uh, what's the young
We're
lady's name? Orianthi?
yeah, yeah.
Orianthi.
And
Oh, I
then
remember her. Didn't she
oh
play
yeah,
with Michael Jackson?
she also played with Alice Cooper, and
Yeah, my God.
so did Damon from Brother Kane. So that's how they kind of know each other. So
Amazing.
we played with Brother Kane back in what was it, February? Q.
Yep.
Yeah, so because it was right before Gary Rossington died. As a matter of fact, it was like 2 weeks before Gary Rossington died.
Sure.
And Damon and the other guitar player from Brother Kane had been playing with Leonard Skinner to fill in for when Gary was sick. So now they're full time members and all that. But they couldn't have been nicer to a man, from the crew to their management. They
That's
came down,
nice.
thanked us for playing with them. They were just great guys, a great hang, and super excited to be seeing them again. And then
That's very cool.
yeah, so
Um,
good.
yeah, I was gonna say, let's get out of the way right now. When are these shows happening? When can people see you?
So our next show actually is tomorrow, and we're
Okay.
All night
we're
in
in
Lansing, Michigan.
Lansing,
Yes,
Michigan.
that's right.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's our first trip up to Lansing. It's about 45 minutes from us here,
All
right?
right.
So it's convenient. It's a home game for Michigan State University, so it should be crazy. And we're
Got it.
playing at kind of an iconic place in Lansing there for live music, Max Bar,
Got
right?
it. All right.
And so we're really excited about that. And then not next week, but the week after, we have two in a row. We have the show with Brother Kane and Orianthi, and that's here in Westland at the world famous Token Lounge. Right,
Nice.
and
I
then
think
the
that's the
Very
next,
cool.
16th. It's Friday
what's
the
that?
16th, maybe. Maybe it's the 16th of this month. I think it's that Friday, whatever it is,
Yeah,
in two
what
weeks.
is it? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the 17th, and then the
17th,
18th.
thanks.
Yep. And then the 18th, the next day, we're in Bowling Green, Ohio, to play at another landmark club, which is Howard's Club H, which is
Nice.
one of the oldest music venues in Ohio, right? As
Cool.
far as
Right on the campus
continuous
at
live
Bowling
music.
Green. Yep,
Yeah.
right on the
Yeah.
campus.
So
Amazing.
it
Well,
should,
yeah, this will be out tomorrow morning. So if people see it,
that's awesome.
I hope
Really?
that they grab a ticket for I guess
You're
tomorrow's
quick.
show. Oh yeah, I work fast over here. I want to make sure the word gets out.
We got a really nice reaction from the folks too from the last one, so it was really nice. We really appreciate that. So, and it was
Amazing.
too, right? It was a good call, a lot of fun to do.
I
So
just reposted it today, as a matter of fact,
There you
because
go.
I put up a post that we're getting ready to do this interview. I said, in case you missed the first one, so I stuck it back out there. So why not?
Nice, nice. Um, Great. Well, you have so much on the way, but I want to hear about Good Vibes. I've listened to the song probably 5 or 6 times at this point, and I truly love it. And I'm not just saying that. I want to know how it was made, how it got dreamt up, and just all the inner workings of it.
so my recollection of this, and I'm going to ask you to correct me wherever I'm wrong on this one. My recollection of it came together in a rehearsal, and I believe the first part was the Jackson Brown thing. Is that right? Q.
Yeah, it was my inner Jackson Brown was coming out on the keyboard intro
Sure.
into the chorus. It had that same type of feel to it, and we
Uh-huh.
just started jamming right to it. I started playing it, and like a lot of things happen with Mojo. Somebody starts playing a lick, and pretty soon everybody's joined in, and it just turns into a song. And this one came about really quick, except for the section that sounds like the Beatles,
Yep.
which
Okay.
is that I don't know who did that. I think it was a Vern and James thing, because it
Sure.
was so different than the Q verse and chorus thing, that but they just gelled. It just kind of changed the feel, but it kept the smile on our faces, and they all just it just kind of mixed together, and we just kind of went, well, that doesn't sound like anything else we're doing, so let's keep doing it.
If you remember when we talked last time, I told you this one's gonna be a little more eclectic than our normal stuff, or that
Sure.
you'd heard at this point. James actually came up with the actual section, right, which was based on just the lyrical part, the da 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 da,
Hmm.
right, and then we added our instruments in it, and then we added harmonies to it, and like I said, I don't think it was more than two rehearsals that it took to get that part together, even to have the full song together,
Right.
and then once we got in the studio. It was always the plan to kind of Sergeant Peppery it a little bit because it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Beach Boys, a little bit of Sergeant Pepper, depending which way they went
Sure,
with it.
sure. I get
And,
that.
and so Q and I talked about doing a horn section piece there, and he actually put in using the keyboard a patch that was the horn pieces, and I went back in there and guy's name is Kevin Bernard, and I had him do live horns for it and send it to us, right? And then kind of
Okay.
gave him some guidance on there and used the keyboard track as the guide for it. And then we brought that in together with everything else, and then it gets this big symphonic kind of
Right.
like craziness at the end, which I just the more I heard it, the more I dug it, and it kind of grows in me because it doesn't take away from the hook that is the the chorus itself, and it lended itself really well. I thought it helped the transition a little bit, and thankfully the guys didn't go, that's terrible, right? So
Well, that's what I was gonna say is like, there's so many songs out there. Some take a year to work on and some take 2 days in this case. Like,
Mhm.
is there a difference from your end on like actually putting the final pieces together on something that you've worked on for so long, or just something that you came up with quickly?
So the first EP we did, the first 7 or 8 songs that we did that we recorded and released, really, to be honest with you, we recorded all the bed tracks or rhythm tracks, if you will, the basic tracks,
Yeah.
in like 1.5 days, 2 days, I think was the most. And then we went
Wow.
back out and did vocals and then solos and that kind of stuff. And that one came together
Okay.
pretty quickly. Mixing always takes a little bit of time, but that was, as far as instrumentation and the style of music, was very kind of like blues, rock and roll, southern rocky, which didn't require a ton of craziness to get to the sound we were looking for, so which reduced the time to mix and sort through all the parts, right?
Exactly.
This one here, because it was done partially during the pandemic and recorded on multiple sessions, and it's a little bit more complex than the stuff we'd done previously, right? And a lot more pieces to choose from, especially when like we get to Mark or myself, because we kind of have a little bit of a free reign to do what we want to inside
Yeah.
the structure. Um, it, it, we try to give the editing as many options as we can. Like Q will send me 7 or 8 7 or 8 keyboard tracks for us to choose
Hmm.
and piece from with different
Yeah,
sounds and
different
whatnot.
sounds, different
Yeah.
performances, because I don't know if an acoustic piano is going to sound better, or a Fender Rhodes, or
Sure.
some kind of EP. And then I don't know if I'm putting in too much low end, and then I can do 127 string parts, and that
I
gets
was
a little
gonna say,
overwhelming for Vern. I go, come on, man, I could do all this.
you have literal billions of options
Yes.
behind you. I
How
don't know
much
how
do
you
you need?
bring it
How
down to
much do you
one
want
object.
versus what
Exactly.
you need? Yeah.
Exactly. It's
So
unbelievable.
it's like putting together a movie and editing, right? So you kind of got
Totally.
to go in and listen to everything in context,
Right.
right? And go, what part do I think really fits? Because a lot of times it's variation on theme. It could be just a different sound. Other times it's actually a wholly different part. And
Yeah.
you go, well, do I need both of those? Do I need this? Which part do I think really should be highlighted and that kind of stuff? And so I'll do the initial breakdown and cut it together and put it together and
Sure.
kind of get a basic mix going. And then at a certain point, when I feel like it's progressed far enough, I can send it back to the fellas and we start to get notes and whatnot. And it's funny because I used to just do it in like the team chat and go, all right, just everybody send me their notes. And then you got a bunch of craziness. And it wasn't because anybody said anything that was going to be complicated.
Right.
It was that it was a lot to catalog in a chat, right?
Well,
To go back
yeah.
and miss something. So this time I did it just a little bit different and went to each guy individually and asked him to send them to me individually for 2 reasons: for cataloging, right? And then also for me to get a clear thought without referencing the other ones. Do you see what I mean?
Sure.
And
Totally
so
makes sense.
you balance all that stuff out and just hope you're serving the song. And in the end, when it comes to this or that, fortunately, it seems like in a lot of ways we're all on the same page for the most part when it comes to that. There's little tiny things here and there, like I'd like to hear more of this or more of that.
Yeah.
And the cool part is that there isn't a ton of ego-driven craziness with us when it comes to that. We're all there to serve the song, which makes it that much easier.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing you want to avoid right there. Because too many people
Yeah.
have opinions and it gets in the way, and then you're working on the song for 6 months.
Yeah,
Yep.
life is too short, man. It's better just to work
Very
together.
true.
And if somebody
Exactly.
has an overall vision of a particular song, that should take precedence over the individuals that would just like to hear more. I'd like to hear more key. I'd like to hear more of this. So
Yeah.
it's the overall scope of the song that needs to have one driving force, which for the most part is Vern and Chuck, the lead vocalist, because he writes a lot of the lyrics, and of course he's singing all the leads. So between Vern and Chuck, they have the idea as to where they want to go with the song. The rest of it's just kind of look at our parts, I think, at least I do, as icing on the cake, and I'm a big cake fan. So, I just think of the keys as how can I make this just a little bit sweeter, but it's not the bulk of the tune. Really,
Yeah.
the guitar tracks are the bulk of the song and the drive of the drums. That's the Mojo sound. What I
Yeah.
add to it is just a little bit of me, and then Chuck does worries about the vocals, and then James, who's the second, the main other vocalist, he does all of the hard harmonies,
Sure.
and he makes the sound what it is. And Vern and I just kind of stand in the back and pretend like we're singing. Nobody
Nothing
knows.
wrong with that. Well,
That's pretty accurate.
right. In a similar vein, it's something that I kind of wanted to bring up is like, your guys' song or your guys' sound is so broad. Obviously, it's rooted in rock. Everyone who listens can know that, but there's so many different elements and things that go into it. Do you ever feel like because your sound is so broad, it can become more difficult to create instead of just being like, this is our sound, we do these things?
You know what? I'll give my quick take on it and thank you. For me, it's freeing because it can be so broad. I don't feel like there's any constraints.
Yeah.
Right. And because, we have a little bit of a following, but I wouldn't say like, people are going to revolt if we sound a certain way or whatnot. Some of this is finding our own voices too, right?
Yeah.
And so like this record or let's go records, this recording set here, right, is more diverse than anything we've done previously. But part of that is we've grown as a band together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And that helps. The cool part is I don't know that I ever reject anything out of hand going, oh, that's not a Mojo sound. Now, Scott,
Sure.
our drummer, does try to keep the basic general direction for us and all that fun stuff. So if we feel like we're going too far apart, right, I can go,
Yeah.
He'll let us
Scott
know.
there.
He will let us know. Yes.
Yeah. It's an open band to say what you want. I mean, it's not that kind of deal. So
no, you need that open line. And if you don't, and people keep their mouth shut, then you get something that not everyone is happy with. And then that's when fights start.
Yep.
Totally.
100%. And then it's funny because this is the first really organic set of songs we've done.
Sure.
Right. There's only one song in this recording that I just wrote from beginning to end. Right. Whereas the other ones we were just starting. So that was a catalog of songs we had to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody put pieces on it. This one here, they started from all different directions. And everybody had their part where it wasn't like, I want to do this instead of do that. And they kind of melded together. And to me, to be honest with you, that's been the most fun about this particular set. It's also the most challenging because we've given each other a lot of options, a little more complicated musically.
Sure.
It's a little complicated vocally, in all honesty. We joke about not singing a lot on this one, but all of us sing on this, right? And there's a lot of different parts, and even that was a thing. And so for Good Vibes in particular, like I said, when they get to the horn part, it was very orchestral, right? Which I'm classically trained, right?
Yeah.
As a horn player, right? And so to me, this was fantastic. I'm like, oh, this is, every horn player wants to, do their own symphony at some point or whatever, right? So it was kind of fun going that route. But it was so solid before it got to there. Anything less than that would have just been letting everybody down. You know what I mean? Including my one, right? So it was cool. And Q, he's done a ton of mixing and producing stuff too. So, and especially because he started this song, I kind of banged against him first, and there was the most choices in there. And so really everybody on this one had a different thing that they brought to as far as the recommendations or things they'd like to hear differently or whatnot.
Yeah.
Funny part is, you get so wrapped into it because you've been doing it for so long with that one song that it was really helpful because every single one of their recommendations were 100% spot on. Some of them, like Scott, the drummer, right, he heard things that I could hear. Right.
That's Scott calling in.
Jerry, I'm up. I can't talk right now. I'll call you back. It's my wife.
All good.
I mean, we're not married. We're all single, and it's awesome. Just like the Beatles.
And you're in the rock band. You can do whatever you want. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Remind me to put
Start
that up
over.
in a permission slip so I can see if I can get it signed. Yes.
Exactly. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we've been married long enough now. If somebody else will take me, she's down for it.
Sure.
Because I raised him as far as I could go. We're not going any
Too
further.
funny.
But
Ugh.
the cool part about it, like Scott, the drummer, you wouldn't think the drummer he's got a very good ear, and he heard
Right.
something that I heard too, but I couldn't put my finger on it, and he absolutely did. As soon as you said, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it is, right? It was just an odd tone that didn't react with something else, and an artifact, right? And so because of that, we were able to find that and pull it out, and it just cleared up all this space where I was struggling with because it would get
Sure.
muddy or not clear. And so, like I say, everybody had something to contribute to the mixing and all that fun stuff of it, and it was just it was a struggle, but it was very cool in the end, right? In the end, you look at it and you go, wow, we did this, and at least
Exactly.
that's how I feel about it. So
No, it's something that's finished and you need to be proud of.
Yeah, it's a fun song. It's a fun song to
It is
also
a fun song.
live, So.
yeah.
So, with all that being said, though, we are very much wrapping up on this year. I know that you have live shows announced, which is great. But what is the start of next year looking like for you? Like, what are some things you have planned, or just, things potentially in the works that you want to talk about?
Vern wants to go to Florida.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, so remember we talked about the Van Go-Go's last time we were here?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they want us to come to Florida and play with them in Kings County. They want us to do like a week-long
Great.
set of shows or whatnot. Also, I'm talking to Anthony Rosano and the Conquerors. We played with them just recently.
Okay.
Hit it off. They want us to come out with them at some point next year, for a couple shows here or there or whatever. We want to do some festivals. We're working on that diligently.
Yeah.
We have other bookings that are already starting to come up, right? So I mean, things are really looking up.
And we got to finish this next release too. I mean,
Yeah.
so we've got the two done, and Vern's working on the third one, the Sister Surrender song, with an animated video, which should be pretty interesting.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I look great as a cartoon. I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's three, but there's still 4 more songs to go. So it'd be nice to
Right.
get the entire package done so that it's not just, although people seem to like single after single after single, but it'd be nice to get the whole thing done and be able to offer it to people so they could get the whole Mojo experience.
I understand. Yeah, that's the complicated part, is singles are the most popular way to go, but at the same time, it's like you want to release a big body of work. I understand.
Yep. So I think, in all honesty, at this point here, the Sister Surrender, and then we probably have one more single to come out of there, and then just release it all as one big deal. We're already writing for the next part, for the next one too. We've done a couple things here and there. We've got some stuff that we haven't recorded that we played live that may make it out at some point too, like the Mojo and some of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that tends to be all live, but we also have new songs that we're working on, constantly, which is great. We've got some stuff that we partially worked out before we started doing the videos and we got busy. So there's things for us to work towards and try and record again and go that route. So because I think really the answer, because of the way the business has changed, it's actually gone to what it was like in the 40s.
Yeah, right. You just
single. You got to keep releasing, otherwise you fall from the public eye or the algorithm that is perception, anyways, right? So
I get it. You follow the trends.
And it's cool because how many times you get to do this, really, to be honest with you, and we've all been around for a while. So
and you're having fun with it, and that's all that matters at the end.
That is a fact.
I get it. My last thing for you here is pretty much like, is there any piece of information or thing that you would want people to know about the song before they listen to it for the first time?
Wow.
You know what? It's a feel-good song. All right. Sometimes I look at music as something that's going to last forever, or something that you just throw away after you hear it and it goes away. This song is somewhere in the middle. I don't know if this will last as long as Stairway to Heaven, but it'd be fun if it did. But
cross your fingers on that.
In the meantime, it's catchy enough and it's nice enough on the ears that hopefully it'll stay around for a while. But it really does. You hear it. It's just, there's nothing negative about it at all. Even from the production to the lyrics, it's all just kind of, wow, this is really fun. It just, when you see the video, you realize this is nothing more than come out and just enjoy yourself song. And it's kind of fun because I've never written a tune like that. I'm sometimes more esoteric and a little more, like Vern said, symphonic and stuff. And so this came out as just it's like a party song. And now we're going up to
Right.
Michigan State to party tomorrow. So we'll see how it works with them. Hopefully they win and they'll be in that
Right.
kind of mode. If not,
If not, hopefully they're trying to drown their sorrows or that kind of.
there you go.
Yeah.
You know, you play the song if it's a win, and you play it if it was a loss to
There
get
you
them
go.
back
Let's
in
get
good
back into the
spirits.
good vibes, people. This is just one
Exactly.
game.
See,
Come
it's a
on.
win-win. It's a win-win for you too.
You know what's
Uh,
funny, Q? You put it kind of succinctly in the way I was saying that. If you're starting a party, right, and it's a little slow, and you want to get people up and get them involved, this would be a good song to do.
yeah,
I agree.
it's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
easy to it's very easy to fall into.
Fully agreed. Well, I want to thank you two so much for taking the time. It was such a pleasure to be able to speak with you again. Please let me plug your music for you once again. If everyone out there missed it, the song is called Good Vibes. And as always, we'll have the links in our articles that you can listen and share and follow along and do all that fun stuff. And then also we'll have the shows in there. So if you're in the area, I say get to one, because I can't imagine that it wouldn't be the best time ever.
Thank you,
So
man. What a
Awesome.
sweet way to end this. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
totally.
taking the time and caring about us. It really means a
You're
lot.
very welcome.
Yeah, it's very cool. We're always surprised when anybody likes anything as a musician, right? You're like, "Oh, please let this be something cool," but it's
You
always a
gotta
shocker,
give
right?
yourself
You know what I
more
mean?
credit than that. You gotta give yourself more credit.
It's amazing to me that something that we started messing around with one day is, something that we're filming a video for, and then we're staying. I always get a kick out of that. I always do. It never gets
Amazing.
old. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Don't take it for granted either.
No.
No.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you two have an amazing rest of your day. Let's talk soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. I
Stay
appreciate
blessed.
it.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.